You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps, and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello, welcome to another episode of Unstoppable Actors. I'm so excited to have you here because I want to talk to you today about how you can get more doors open for yourself. It doesn't matter what level you're at. Even if you have just decided you want to become a professional actor, if you're returning from a big break, if you're regularly auditioning but you are struggling to get those doors opened, if you are quite new, you're in your training, but you're ready for the next level, it doesn't matter what level you're at. You can take this advice and you can use it to change your acting career and get you closer to the goals you've set for yourself. It can get you closer to the success you imagine yourself achieving. It's possible. An acting career is doable. But the biggest thing all actors of all levels struggle with is, how do I get more doors opened? Because when you get more doors opened, your chances of success increase and improve and multiply. And that's what I want for you. I love having you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're brand new and you've literally just discovered the Unstoppable Actors podcast, this is a good episode to have found as your first one. And if you're a regular listener, thank you so much for always tuning in. If these lessons land, please do leave a review. Please do rate the podcast. It really helps me understand what content you are loving and what you want more of. So shall we dive right in? Shall I just get started? I think I should. So if you have been listening for a while, you'll know that I've spoken about the triangle for success. The triangle for success, as any triangle, has 3 parts to it. At the top is mindset, on the second point is skill set, and on the third point is action set. So for you to be a successful actor, you've got to have all 3 things in place and you've got to give attention to them. Your mindset, your acting skills, and taking action. And that sounds pretty obvious, doesn't it? But we can go deeper than that. So with mindset, which is at the very top of the triangle because it's the most important, the thing I want you to take away is that 80% of your success is down to your mindset, as defined by hypnotherapist Marissa Peer. So this doesn't come from me. This comes from someone who has been in the field of psychology for over 35 years, in her words. And I want to share a story with you that demonstrates this. Because yes, you do need to work on your acting skills. Absolutely. You need to be learning method acting. You need to be mastering those skills. But you also need to master your mind. You need to get in control of your mind. So here is an incredible story about just how powerful the mind is. It's not even really a story, it's an experiment. So there was a doctor called Dr. J.B. Moseley. Just had to find my notes. And he examined the power of the mind and placebo effect. So he got 10 veterans who had all served in different various capacities. Every single one of them had arthritis of the knee. So what he did in his experiment was to present them, all 10 of them, with the opportunity to have an operation on their knee to get rid of this arthritis. All 10 agreed. All 10 veterans went under the anaesthetic. They all had incisions made in their knee. They all woke up with bandages around their knee. This is where it gets interesting. Only 2 out of the 10 veterans actually had the operation. So 8 of them didn't have it. Yes, they were put under the anaesthetic. Yes, they had incisions in their knee. Yes, they woke up with bandages, but 8 of them hadn't had the operation. But they were made to believe that they had. 2 months later, all 10 of these veterans were examined and not a single one of them had arthritis of the knee, but only 2 of them had actually had the operation. This is the power of the mind. This is why your success is dependent on your mindset. 80% of your efforts being put into your mindset and you believing and knowing that you can become an unstoppable actor. You can become a paid working actor. Because all 10 of them believed they had the operation, but actually only 2 of them had, the mind starts to act on your beliefs. That is how powerful the mind is. So I wanted to start this episode sharing that with you because you've got to get your mind in check. I am going to expand on this. Neuroscience is unlocking so much about the mind, and I absolutely love imparting my knowledge and what I know about the mind, and I love combining that with method acting, which is the most powerful proven acting technique there is out there, with my students inside the 10-week method acting modules. Because when we work together, or when we put together mindset work and method acting, we're hitting 2 out of the 3 points on the triangle for success. We're hitting mindset and we're hitting skill set. When your mindset is in check and you absolutely believe this is possible for you, an acting career, and you will get paid work in TV, film, stage, radio, voiceover, whatever it is that you dream of, you will take the action and you will be consistent. And then you're hitting all 3 points on the triangle. Now, because I'm very passionate and do a lot of learning about mindset, and because I combine this with the power of method acting and coach my students through that, I absolutely have no doubt that this is what has helped them achieve amazing things. So, for example, one of my students got cast in a Hollywood film. He messaged me not long ago on Instagram to say he's going to be going to the premiere in Hollywood. How exciting. Multiple students have worked on Netflix dramas. So exciting. Because when you start working on things like that, more doors are obviously going to start opening for you because you're raising your profile, you're raising your visibility. But for you to get to those points, you've got to have that belief and the skills. I myself have got a film out on Amazon Prime, and it's currently being shown in the UK, Canada, the US, Australia. What you need to know about the mind is that it is mutable. Mutable means it can change. Most people have this idea that your thoughts are your thoughts and they don't change, and that's not true. And many people have what's called a fixed mindset, which means those thoughts don't change. But I know as you're listening to this episode, I know you want to do everything you possibly can to get your acting career off the ground. I know you want to get more auditions. I know you want more doors opened. And I know you want to get cast in bigger projects. So for us to do that, we've got to work on your mindset first. That is the first thing because it's at the top of the triangle for success. Remember, as I said earlier in the episode, 80% of your success is dictated by your mindset. So what I want you to ask yourself now is, what are your fixed beliefs? Are your fixed beliefs something like, I want to become an actor, but I come from a family of doctors? Or is it something like, I want to be an actor, but I come from poverty? Or I want to be an actor, but I've had addiction problems in the past. They're not going to change. They're always going to have a hang over me. Or is it, I want to become an actor, but people like me aren't successful? That's just, some examples of what fixed beliefs can be. But you've got to figure out what yours are, because feeding your mind fixed beliefs like this is essentially like feeding a newborn baby McDonald's every day. And you know that sounds crazy, me even saying that. You know that is not healthy. Well, feeding a newborn baby or any small child or anyone, even an adult, McDonald's every single day of their life is as unhealthy as feeding your mind these fixed, self-sabotaging, limiting beliefs. There was a big mindset guy called Zig Ziglar who's not alive anymore, and he spoke a lot about the mind and spoke about how you wouldn't go into a living room and empty your bins into it and pour all the rubbish into your living room. And when you're feeding your mind these fixed beliefs, these fixed ideas, which you are because they've got stuck on a loop, it's essentially like filling your living room full of smelly, dirty, horrible rubbish. Same way it is feeding a baby or a child or an adult McDonald's every day of their life. I hope you are understanding now just how important your mindset is. Now, once you've identified these fixed beliefs, now what you can do is start feeding your mind better beliefs, better thoughts. And I know this isn't always easy, so I've already done it for you. I created a visualization for success, a guided visualization for success, which is a 10-minute guided audio. And I give it to all of my students of the 10-week method acting modules for free. But what I did first is I tested it on myself. So I created it and then I decided I'm just going to do a little experiment on myself and see what happens. So just to caveat this and for context, I have obviously coached actors for 14 years, just over 14 years now. At the point of me creating this guided visualization for success, I had a massive break from my own acting career and I'd focused on building up my acting students' careers instead. But I'd kept getting this little niggle that I needed to come back into the industry as an actress as well. I knew that I was going to have to work on my mind because I already knew this knowledge that 80% of your success is dictated by your mindset. I knew I had a fear of auditions. I knew there were some other things I needed to clean up in my mindset. I knew I needed to believe that this was possible. So I got to work, I created this guided visualization for success, and I started listening to it every single night before bed without fail. What started to happen is at first I enjoyed the guided visualization. I enjoyed tapping into the images and I enjoyed hearing these new thoughts that I was putting into my mind, but there was still a little part of me that didn't fully believe it was going to happen. But the more I listened to it, the more I started to believe. So I started listening to this guided audio in, I think it was March of 2022. And I started listening to it every single night. Because I was listening to it, I then started to spot opportunities that I would never, ever have spotted before with my old fixed mindset. So I'd opened myself up because the brain starts working, the mind starts working on whatever you pour into it. By June 2022, I had been cast in a feature film, the one that I mentioned earlier, that is now on Amazon Prime. That was my very first audition back into the industry after a big break. So what's that? March, April, May, June, 3 months. 3 months of listening to that guided visualization for success every single night without fail. I committed to it. It's only 10 minutes. Did it before bed. Led to that. Because I listened to that every single night for 3 months, got cast in that film, it started opening more doors for me. I then got an agent. I was then getting more auditions. I got incredible feedback for my performance in that film. Behind closed doors, I was obviously working on my method acting skills because obviously that's the second part of the method acting triangle. But I knew that the mindset had to prop everything else up. It is so powerful what can happen to you when you start believing in yourself, but truly believing in yourself. So if you are feeling overwhelmed right now and thinking, oh my God, I know I need to change my mindset. I know I want to get more acting jobs. Take the overwhelm out of it, figure out what your fixed mindset is first, and then start to see acting as a game. And part of that game is identifying your fixed mindset. The second part is filling your mind with better thoughts. The third part is up-leveling your acting skills, learning method acting exercises. The fourth part is taking action. When you have identified your fixed mindset, I invite you then to come and train with me. Let me give you the method acting exercises that are going to help you turn more auditions into paying jobs. Let me give you that guided visualization for success that I used, that I give to all of my students on the 10-week method acting modules, so you too can have that absolute, utter, firm belief that this is going to happen to you and start calling in more opportunities and getting more doors opened for you. Because when you work on your mindset and when you work on your method acting skills and upgrade them, you make it an easy yes for casting directors, agents, and directors to want to work with you. You become a very easy yes. So the next 10-week method acting module begins in January. It's Wednesday, the 15th of January, 2025. We're holding auditions. All this information is available on the website. You will then get that guided visualization for success, and you'll also get your weekly training for 10 weeks. I've popped a link underneath the episode for you to go and check it out, or you can go to www.standbymethod.com and then select 10-week method acting modules on the website, which will give you the audition dates. It'll tell you more. So go and figure out what your fixed beliefs are first so you can get rid of them, and then go and have a look at the 10-week method acting modules for the winter January 2025 course, because that is what's going to get you, because that is what's going to help you take these lessons in the podcast, which will help you and serve you and get you so far, but it will help you take them further. I want to coach you because I believe in you. I know you can do it. And I know there's characters out there that have to be played by you. So go and check out the 10-week method acting modules. That link again is www.standbymethod.com, and then on acting training, click the 10-week method acting modules, or you can just literally click the link underneath where you've pressed play. I really hope this has been useful for you, and you have got some new inspiration and you're feeling fired up and you're like, do you know what? I am ready for this. I am ready for success in 2025. And I'll see you again soon. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.